What is up, my players and those getting played? If you're joining me on another nice summer's eve, tonight's topic is going to be relationships. And I think I'm going to kind of just spitball, but general ideas I have down, and I might just branch off of them if I'm feeling loony. Is you deserve to be loved how you love. Don't get back with your ex, no matter what. Well, actually, because of a specific reason, you'll hear it. And then that'll lead into life is a series of experiences, so why are you limiting yourself already? So to start, you deserve to be loved how you love. And what got me on this idea is that I went through a breakup, and I had this concept that everybody deserves to be loved. But I remember thinking about my ex and just how awful she is, and just the cruel things she did to me, said about me, whatever. And I just thought to myself, you know what, that person doesn't deserve love. That everyone deserves love of some kind, maybe not romantic inherently, but from a pet, family member, friend, whatever. Everyone is deserving of some kind of love. And so there's a conflict there with myself of, well, if I think everyone deserves love, wouldn't that entail she does as well? And yet I found that she was so, her actions were so repulsive and inhuman that she wasn't deserving of any kind of love. And so that conflict of concepts in my mind, I struggled with it for a while until I realized it's not that everyone inherently deserves love, but rather everyone deserves the love that they put out into the world. And so, she wasn't a terribly loving person, so I don't think she deserves to be loved too terribly hard. And so I think you should carry that with you, that if somebody isn't loving you right, treating you right, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve your awesomeness, your love, your epicness, your awesome sauce, your awesomeness is not earned by them. So don't waste your love on someone who doesn't reciprocate it. And I don't know if I would take this advice to heart enough to where I would say you should try to understand how much love you give out and decide what you're deserving of, because I think that's maybe putting it a little too scientifically, it's more of a vague concept than a strict code of like, okay, I give out this much love, so I'm deserving of this. You're deserving of the world, all right? But it's more of a concept to apply to others, that they deserve the love they give, and if they don't give that much, you shouldn't worry yourself about loving them that much, because they won't. Because you know what? I think they also won't receive it. If they can't give love, how could they possibly comprehend love? So anyways, this next idea is never get back with your ex, because, and of course, as all concepts are, they aren't black and white. So don't take this as a hard set fact. You should never get back with your ex because, I got some friends who got back with their ex, and I'm wishing nothing but the best for them because I think they're going about it the right way. But what the wrong way would be, and what the most common way is you guys break up. It could be for not even you break up on good terms, like you just realized you were going in different life paths, and it's just illogical to stay together. You go in different routes, and so it could be a mutual split, no animosity, no nothing. But I would still say you shouldn't, get back, because the reason, and the specific thing is because of the reasoning of why you want to get back, is that you were probably wanting to get back with your ex from a place of loneliness, a longing for what was. And that's not why you start relationships. And that's not, a good point to start off. Because not only are you'd be wanting something that ended, and just logically thinking there, that just doesn't make sense. You want something that ended. And so, I'd say, generally speaking, and that's where a lot of why those relationships that get back together fail is because they don't realize what they had ended for a reason. And so when they get back together, they just go back to what was, and then they just repeat the same mistakes, and it ends. And so you could go about getting back with your partner if you have a mutual understanding that the relationship has to be different, that it's going to be new, and that what was is exactly that was. Because I think there's just a general feeling that everybody has of a desire for what was. We all have nostalgia, and we all have these rose-tinted memories of how things used to be. And the truth is that your mind is probably lying to you about how things used to be. And it's not worth going back. You should try to fight that feeling of wanting to fall back to what you know, what's comfortable, what used to be, because you will never, ever have what was again. Because to get all poetic on you, there's this saying of a man cannot cross the same river twice, for he is not the same man, and it is not the same river. And if you don't get that, or at least not fully, it's the man's already crossed the river. He knows what it's like to experience. He has the experience of crossing the river, and then the river constantly moving. The water has been replaced. The rocks under the water have gone off with the current. It's a different river, or it's a different state of the river, and the man is going through it with a different experience. So he is a different man. And this, the fuck? It's like a squirrel or something. Spooky. Well, anyways. And so this applies to your entire life. I think importantly, a part of relationships, platonic or romantic. It's important to realize you will never be able to repeat anything, because I know in my personal relationships, romantic or other, I have tried to pursue recreating special moments, or, you know, certain things. Like, I used to hang out with my best friends every Friday. That was something real special. And whoa, huge spider web. Animal episode. Um, I used to hang out with my best friends every Friday. It was a real special thing. It was a real kind of nice thing where we got to talk about our weeks, how we're feeling, what girls we're looking at, just guy stuff. It was fun. And that stopped a good couple years ago. And every so often one of us will try to get it started back up again. It's just an attempt at recreating what was, which is futile. And that's not to say I'll never hang out with those guys on Friday again, ever. It's more like, if I do, I have to face it with the idea that this is a completely different thing. This is a new experience, new people, or newish, in comparison, new people. Not little, anyways. And even in my romantic relations, trying to re-spark some passion by going back to our, when we first met, the clothes I first wore, and I think all of this sort of thinking and, not thinking, but, what's the word? Such a focus on the past and reminiscing, I think is the word I was looking for. All this reminiscing and nostalgia, all it does is really just hold you back. That you're just going to be stuck in the past and you'll never be able to create those new memories. That the whole reason that first date was special, that hangout, that whatever. And just to be clear, this is applying both romantic relations and just personal friendship relations, just life in general, just to be clear. But what made those moments you want to repeat so special is that you were open to new concepts, that you were open to experience new things. The most special moments in your life that you want to repeat weren't ones that you've already had before. And so if you really want to create something special, worthwhile, memorable, it has to be something new. Because all you're trying to do is recreate, and your memories are never what you will never remember how things actually were. You'll only remember the best or the absolute worst parts about them. You'll never remember them how they actually were. And so it's never worthwhile to try and reach into the past and recreate it or anything like that. It's a pure and utter waste of time to be hung up on the past, trying to recreate it. Never do that. I wonder what people think who just drive or walk by me. I think they think I'm crazy. Anyways. And I guess this does tie into my next point, that life is a collection of experiences. When you really think about it, That's what it is. And so why are you limiting yourself to experiences? You interpret that in a couple ways of romantically. Why, at this age, assuming you're one of my peers who's about the same age as me, 18, why on earth are you possibly trying to find somebody you're going to lock down in a relationship? It's just illogical. It makes no sense. That's not to say that you can't have long-term relationships, because I know personally what I'm searching for is long-term, but I've done something wrong if the next person I date is the same person I marry. That just wouldn't be right. And because life is a collection of experiences, and it's just a series of learning, a collection of mistakes that you learn from. And so you need to allow yourself to have those experiences, to make said mistakes, and live a life. So it just doesn't make sense to lock yourself down with a partner this early. And that's not to say go have your little, some might hear this and think I'm telling you to go fuck every guy you see. I'm not saying that. Rather, relationships at this stage in your life should be about growing, having new experiences, and learning with a person. And once that stops, there's no point to stay in the relationship. Because you're young, you have so much learning left to do, so there's no way you found the person you want to be with for the next 70 years of your life. So once the learning and the new experiences stop, so should the relationship. Now, there is a point that may be missed when I say that new experiences and learning isn't inherently positive things, positive feelings. And it's a positive thing that you're learning, but that experience isn't inherently positive. So some might hear me saying this and think, well, that just means once I'm stop having fun in a relationship, I cut it off. And that's not exactly what I'm saying. It's more like when everything is done, when you've experienced all you can from this person, from this part of your life, that's when you move on. That's when it's over. That if you've learned what it's like to argue and make up and all that, argue, make up, live together, all of that, and then there's not terribly much left to learn or experience with this person, then it's probably time to move on to somebody else. And that kind of sounds like, you're just jumping person to person. It's not entirely what I mean, the message I intend to send. But it's more like, Well, I mean, think about it also. Logically speaking, if you've experienced everything you can with this person, the relationship's going to get pretty static. And just think, is that, if let's say this is when you're, 20, and you live to be about 80, if you got static at 20, you're really excited for another 60 years of that. And while, of course, life will change over those 60 years, you'll have a family, move, new jobs, all of that. Uh, you even still, you look at, well, actually, this leads into kind of my next point, is that that you might see it as shitty to just dump a person because, you've had all your experiences with them. You might see that as a shitty thing to do to a person, because just because you're done with your experiences doesn't mean the relationship is in a bad place or that they're a bad person, and so that could be seen as a dick move, a mean thing to do. But I would say it's the right thing to do, because you'll learn for your next relationship. Eventually down the line, you'll be a bad person if you stuck around, and or mean, hurtful at least. Maybe not a bad person, but a hurtful person. And that's because you won't have the knowledge of what you do and don't want. There's a statistic of 50% of marriages end in divorce. And, that's a real heavy concept, scary. And well, I don't have any evidence to back this up. What I bet, a lot of people would like to say that comes from women not, caring or something, not being loyal. The internet has destroyed people's minds. Just 1 second, let me catch my thoughts. There was a person, and I didn't want to keep talking while they were just there listening. So I'm just gonna walk a little more till I'm probably out of earshot. But I think people would like to blame this stat on, like, social media has ruined people, that there's women aren't loyal anymore, and social media clubs, whatever. They would like to say that is what it is. But the truth is that is that most people get married young. I mean, relatively. I mean, if we want to think about how long your life lasts, you're getting married in the first fourth of it, or actually the first eighth. Anyways, really young. If we want to talk about the whole span of your life, you're choosing your life partner at the basic start of it. And so people would like to blame women and social media and whatever for this 50% divorce rate. But I think it stems from a lack of experience, a lack of knowledge, and just general peer pressure. That I bet, if we think about the course of somebody's dating life, they go through high school, they have a couple partners in high school, 2 or 3 maybe. They get to college, they go for about 6 years, they again have maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6, some just real short-term stuff in there. Partners, probably a little less than that. And they end up with their last partner, their senior year, and a part of them knows that once they get out of college, it's going to be a lot harder to find a partner. And so they convince themselves that they really love this person, and they do this self-convincing, this self-hypnosis, so that they stay with them. And it's stupid, because sorry, I got really I don't know what happened to me. I got really thrown off. But if we think about it, they get this last partner, senior year, and they haven't married during college because they're smart enough to understand that that's a bad idea. And they're with this person out of college. They both get jobs near the same place. They move in together, and they live together for about a year or two. Things are fine. And this guy, is going to be going to his friends' weddings, his partner's weddings. And it's going to be this pressure from not only going to those events, but from his friends and family to get married and to lock a lady down. And because this guy's never faced the concept of marriage, does he really want to marry a person? Because all of his other relationships have just been nothing but probably not very meaningful or short-term. Anyways, I'm getting too hung up on this analogy. I gotta hurry up. He doesn't really know what it would mean to actually want to marry somebody. So, feeling complacent with his partner, that, sure, they argue sometimes, but, things aren't bad. They don't hate each other. Sex is fine. And what I was talking about earlier, that fear of just dropping my stuff off. That fear of having to find somebody else outside of college is scary. And so, lack of understanding what he wants in a partner, mixed with this hidden fear of trying to get another partner just outside in the world, very hard to do, pushes somebody to marry somebody they're not really compatible with, because they don't know what they would actually want out of a life partner. And they've probably never known what it feels like to actually want to marry somebody. I know with my, because when you really put your mind to something, it's astonishing the lengths you'll go. I remember with my ex, this is kind of something I should say with a lot of shame, but I know with my ex that I thought, I was like, oh, I'm gonna marry her, because she put those thoughts in my brain, not me. I was like, oh man, I want to marry this girl. And I remember I was watching a YouTuber who got asked the question of, like, I've been dating this girl for a while. how do I know if I want to marry her? And he just answered, well, you just know. And I can't exactly say if that's true or not. I imagine it is. And I know that when I heard that, and this was during the relationship, when I was like, man, I'm going to marry her. When I heard that, I felt it, and it being nothing. I didn't feel that knowledge in myself that like, oh yeah, this is who I want to be with. And you know what I did with that feeling? Ignored it. Uh, I instead just tried to rationalize to myself like, oh no, I'm really happy with her. Um, she makes me happy. I love the time I spend with her. Of course I would. And I just fought against that truth, that feeling that I didn't want to be with her for the rest of my life. And that's kind of what I'm talking about, that those people who marry probably don't realize that they don't want to. It's just that fear and logic overrules how they actually feel so much that they make that action. Because I remember, again, with my last partner, that a part of the reason I stayed with her for so long, and something that made me happy about having her, is I knew I never had to try to get with a girl, because that's a scary thing to do. You have to put yourself out there, be vulnerable. Scary. And so there's a security in knowing that I had a partner, had somebody on my side already. I didn't have to try. And a lot of people get lost in that feeling of security and scary, and how scary it is to be out there, that they get so lost in that feeling, they commit to something they don't want for the rest of their life because they don't have the experience. So this long-winded kind of analogy to say that I think a lot of marriages end in divorce because they don't have the experience of understanding what they do and don't want out of relationships. And of course that kind of comes from failing. So I don't think, if I got on a megaphone and I could talk to the whole world, I don't think that would change anything because, like I said, you don't know what you want and don't want till you have it. And so you need to experience it and fail to be able to know what you want. And so you should look for experiences in life. You should want to try new things. Be vulnerable. Put yourself out there. Be ready to fail. Be ready to lose, because that's the only way you learn. And that's the only way you get really what you want out of life, is by failing, being unhappy, being miserable. Because all of that will let you know what you do right, do wrong, and what you want, need. So, break up with him is what I'm saying. Dump him. Go have your girl summer. Go fuck a bunch of dudes. Live life. That's the lesson. I mean, kind of what I'm saying, to a point. But you should be, you should be happy that, I realized this last night, or not last night, 2 nights ago, anyways, that you should find happiness or some sort of melancholy, something, from the fact that everything ends and everybody leaves. Because why would you ever want the same thing forever? You know? Isn't it more beautiful that you can experience so many different things and learn so many different things? Because, well, you might say, well, what I have now I'm happy with. Who's to say you can't find something you're happier with? And while that is a little dangerous thinking, because grass is always greener, it is still true that, I mean, I can think about, again, my own personal relationships. My last relationship, even at the end, when I was miserable, like depressed, suicidal, I still thought I was happy in that relationship, because I didn't think to draw the conclusion that my depression and general terrible position in life might be tied to the relationship. And that's not to blame my ex for my position in life. That's more like the relationship in general, which includes me. So I'm not blaming my ex for why I was fat. It's my fault. But anyways, that's not important. It's that my point is that when I was depressed, ugly, and fat, I still thought that I was in a relationship that I was enjoying and happy with. I was that delusional because I didn't have the experience or knowledge to know that the relationship is what was dragging me down, and that I needed to cut it off. So that's my advice. I'm trying to think, do I have anything else to say? Any great words of wisdom from yours truly? No, I guess just to reiterate, you deserve to be loved how you love. Don't waste your love on someone who doesn't reciprocate it. Don't try to bring back what was, because it ended for a reason, and you can never bring the past back. It's in the past, and it will always be. You can never, ever bring it back. And then life is a series of learning and experiences. So don't limit the amount of life you get to live. Because if you do, you're probably going to make yourself pretty unhappy, and you won't even realize it. Because it's, you get pretty sunk in. You won't be able to look around and realize why you're unhappy, why you're this way, or at least you'll deprive yourself of a joy you'll never know. And that extends to relationships, but also to just general life, that if you don't go out, try new things, new people, new experiences, you'll never know what you like. And even if you went out and did something you wouldn't like, and didn't like it, well, now you know you don't like it. You'll never have to wonder whether you do or don't like it. Even if you think you won't like it, you'll at least know. So life is a bunch of experiences. So try to live as much life as possible. Have as many experiences as possible. Yeah. Album recommendation. I was listening to For Emma by Bon Iver. Beautiful little, I guess, is it folk? I think so. Folk music. Personal favorites off the album. For Emma. The title track. Also, Creature Fear. That one's really good. Listen to it. Let me know what you think. I hope my words have been helpful. I think to get you titillated. Hey, it was going fast. To get you titillated for the next one, I'll probably be talking about not taking life so seriously. Nothing's personal. It's all in your head. So why not make it positive? Everything's in your head. So that'll probably be the next episode's topic. So get titillated. Get excited. You better be on the edge of your seat till that day. I'll talk to you later.